Right, hello and welcome to Tea at the Troddler. This has been a bit of a ruse as this one, so I told Mrs A that we were off to Morecambe, but we're not in Morecambe, we're actually in Lovejoy country, we're in Lavenham, and we're very lucky to be stopping here tonight. We're stopping here for a little break. It's called the Swan, which goes back to I think about 1425, so this should be a fantastic trip. I hope you're going to enjoy the journey. We've got lots and lots of things to see and do, including eating and drinking quite a lot, I should imagine, so I hope you enjoy the film. Right, so this is our room, Constable Suite. The good news is we're right next to the spa, which is good news, so it's a bit wibbly wobbly. It's quite old as this place. So this is the main bedroom. Looks out onto the spa, which is nice, so we're going to play in that in a little while. And we'll come around here. That was a bathroom. It's this place is no good for you if you like things being level. It's all over the shop, but there's a lot of character in it. Like I said, I think they say it's 1425. I'll double check on that, but I'm pretty sure it's 1425. And then you come up here, we've got like a bit of a mezzanine sort of sitting area. So you never know, I might have a few whiskies up here or something and a coffee sometime. But yeah, absolutely made up with this. So we're going to get changed now, and we're going to get ourselves down to the spa and cool off a little bit. Right, welcome to Tea to the Troddler again. So we're up in the morning, we've got up and we've come to the beautiful, I don't know what you call it, village town of Dedham, and we're at the side of the River Stour. A lot of people messing around in the river, but we're off on a bit of a wander. So we're on this public footpath that takes you right alongside the river. It's absolutely beautiful, so let's see what we can find out today. I'll tell you what, as always, I ordered some weather and it's come about 22, 23 degrees, something like that. Oh, it's better than working this. So yeah, just absolutely stunning. Just take a look at this. Beautiful. Just walking down to the river now. Stork or a herring on this tree here, I don't know which it is. So a stunning lock this. You get more beautiful locks. Beautiful. And that across the way I think is Flatford Mill. So here we are. This is somewhere very, very special. This can't tell you how long I've been wanting to come here and talk about the perfect day to come. But yeah, this hopefully you'll be able to recognise it when I spin it around. So this is where John Constable in 1821 painted the hay wain. And to the left is Willie Lott's cottage. He was a farmer. Before Willie Lott lived there, it was called Gibson's Farm. But yeah, Flatford Mill, which is here. That was a mill that came about in 1733, and actually it was Constable's father, and I think and also his grandfather lived there. So they had it for quite some time, certainly up to and including I think Constable certainly growing up there, I think. So he'll come out of his family abode in effect and painted what were on his doorstep. So obviously it looked a bit different to this. If you look at the painting, there's not quite as much vegetation, but other than that, absolutely untouched. It is an area of outstanding natural beauty, and I'll tell you now, it definitely is. It's absolutely incredible.
Or you using skippers? Or
We're all skippers, the three of us.
skippers?
So we're all volunteers.
None of this ruin malarkey. If you're going to do it properly.
Someone here.
Someone there.
Do you want me to go over there?
Let the captain take the strain.
I'm inside. I'm officially So, welcome to this boat. This is a Riverstone Trust electric boat. So we have 2 boats that work from where we keep them at Dedham overnight. We bring them up to Flatford and do trips. The other one's being used for training new skippers today, though. We're the only people who are allowed to have motors and boats in this river. It's got a lot of wildlife. A few crocodiles.
I love that.
And we have got a family of swans and 6 cygnets, which is lovely.
Birds.
In this area. Birds, we get egrets, you have different sort of hoots and more.
Beach Ryan does this, my arms are hurting at all.
Voles living.
So that was a very pleasant boat trip. Beach Rowing does that, electric boats, you can't beat them. So just going back up now towards Dedham. As you see, you've got Dedham Church in the distance, so if you could pick it out. But yeah, what's learnt a little bit of history while we were on the boat. It was sort of saying that the actual stone came from France. So when we get up there, we're going to have a pretty closer look. And they also said that Dedham were in Essex. So the boat, that's funnily enough, as we were talking about on the boat, is that the river's the natural boundary between Suffolk and Essex. So they're saying that Dedham's just in Essex. So yeah, fantastic day. I've just come to Dedham Church, absolutely stunning church, this, beautiful. That's a Constable picture boat there, stained glass windows, just fabulous. Absolutely stunning. So just walked up and down the high street of Dedham. Really pretty. Beautiful. Another chocolate box village, really. Not quite as spectacular as Lavenham, but a bit more. Seems a little bit late to some of the architects. A little bit more Georgian towards it, but yeah, still very nice. But yeah, and the church just absolutely stunning. So what a fabulous day we've had. So I've got one other place I want us to go. And the good news is it's got a pub there, so there's definitely a cold cider coming on, I can feel it. Right, it's a little stop off is this. This is the little village of Kersey, Kersey. Another absolute unbelievable chocolate box of a village. And the only reason we've come here is with Lovejoy chasing. So Lovejoy's first time he met Lady Jane in the TV series, Lady Jane was cutting a ribbon down here at the bottom of the village. There's a church up on the hill, and they're coming down the hill, and anyhow, as she was just cutting the ribbon, along came Lovejoy and Eric on his motorbike and sidecar and come steaming down this hill here, and went through the ford at the bottom there and soaked them all through. So it sticks in my mind, but I can't tell you, just driving down, it's just like some out of a fairy tale. It's just, honestly, it's absolutely unbelievable. So we're gonna, just out of its sheer prettiness, we've gonna have to go and go to Bellin for a drink. But what an absolute pleasure to come here. Right, so We're in Long Melford today. We're just going to look around antique shops, and I just looked on this building. It's quite interesting. So obviously something to do with railway travel once upon a time. But yeah, we're just having a wander about, looking at a few shops, look at the architecture. It's got some old buildings like Lavenham, but not quite as many. And conclusion that we've come to is that it all came from cloth trade, the really old houses, and a lot of them, when cloth trade died up, money dried up, and nobody wanted to alter their houses. So that's why Lavenham stayed as it was. But a lot of the other places have managed to change quite a lot of it, which is a bit of a shame really, because I think it should all be like that. But yeah, having a wander around, some amazing antique shops here. Right, so we're outside the Bull at Long Melford, and this is another one that goes back to 1450, I think. So another real McCoy Tudor, absolutely fantastic. There's another quite quaint building over the other side, and all the Tudor building, and just in the distance you can sort of see the hall. I forget what it's called now, just let me have a look. Melford Hall, funnily enough. So that's in the distance there, you can just sort of see it. But yeah, Long Melford, another beautiful place. There's so many. I mean, it's a bit of a busier road, is this, you know, that comes through the middle of the village, I suppose, or very small town. But yeah, pretty nonetheless. And like I said, they've still got quite a lot of old buildings, but mixed with some more modern ones as well. So yeah, Long Melford, definitely worth a trip, especially if you like antiques. Right, we're back at Lavenham now. We're at Lavenham Church, and this is St Peter's and St Paul's, and it's quite magnificent, built in 1525, so like everything else around here, really old but beautiful. So let's have a look inside. I think they've got an art exhibition on today, so that should be good. We're inside Lavenham Church now. This is the Lady Chapel. One picture showing the Last Supper, by the looks of it, or eating at least of Jesus, and looks like his disciples. And this is the main stained glass window, absolutely magnificent. Truly magnificent. I don't know how old that is, but I'm guessing it's probably as old as a church, so amazing. So you can see that this church is sort of a lot later than the sort of like 10th century, so you've got like 15th century, and you moved on to real different architecture here. So you've got Norman arches, which are a lot more slender. So if you go into the older churches, the columns are a lot wider, a lot thicker, because the older way that they're designed with the Roman columns were they weren't quite as they had to be bigger to support the weight, and they've obviously moved on with the technology, and these Norman arches are a lot stronger, and they can be more slender, so a bit more beautiful really. But an amazing wooden ceiling, and another fantastic stained glass window in the distance. So right, I hope you can hear me now because I'm on the side of the road, but this is going to be my little tour of Lavenham. So to start off with, this is the Swan, which is where we're fortunate enough to be staying, and the Swan dates back to 1500s, well 1400s, sorry, 15th century, so 1450s, and the front half used to be 3 or 4 dwellings, and then the middle bit is has been altered over a bit of time, but it's still really old. Then the back bit is also very old, and I'll come on to that in a minute. But I'm going to we'll go to the back of the building and I'll show you from there. Markings from World War II airmen, and American airmen were based here, so quite a lot of those signs on the wall. So this is the bar. American, we got told last night that this sofa here actually came from one of the American airmen who handed it over to the hotel, so quite a bit of history there. is the gardens to the hotel, and this is the main sort of middle part of the hotel. When I go, I'll try and nip inside, and I'll just show you the restaurant if there's nobody in it. Just have a quick peek in there. In fact, I wonder if I can get through this door and just have a quick peek. Right, we're now at the rear of the hotel, and this hasn't been changed since the mid 1450s on this side. And this side's quite interesting because there was 4 guilds developed in the 14th and 15th century, and it was basically down to the fact that from a wool perspective or cloth point of view, Lavenham was incredibly it became incredibly wealthy off the back of it, and after that 4 guilds came into existence. So when they formed a guild, they used to form a guild hall, and we're going to go and see the last remaining guild hall very soon. But this one, which is now part of the Swan, used to be the wool guild, and I only found out that recently that people think, oh, guild hall, that must be a place where everybody met. Well, that ain't actually the case. It's not going to surprise you this, but guild in Anglo-Saxon actually means tax, I think. So this is where you come and pay your dues. That were the idea. So as always, it was about collecting money. But yeah, quite a remarkable building nonetheless, and fantastic that it's been left untouched. Now across the road is what they now call number 10. It's a wine bar and restaurant. I must admit, we went in for a drink there the other night, and it was really nice. It's got a beautiful bay tree in the back, sort of beer garden. But yeah, this building here dates back to, it was a shop for many years, and it goes back as far as Henry VII's time. So same again, absolutely ancient. We're talking 1400s here, so incredible really. But for most of the 20th and 21st century, it's been a private residence, and then now, as I say, it's a wine bar and restaurant. But it's absolutely lovely inside. I really enjoyed going there last night. So that brings it out onto the bottom of it. I think this is Lady Street, and I think the street down here is called Water Street. And you just look at the buildings all the way up and down it, just all over the shop, but absolutely fantastic. And same again up this side as well. So we'll walk up to the top end of the village, and then we'll start walking down. Right, so we just walked to the top of the hill, which has been a bit of a task in these temperatures. It's getting quite warm, but at least it's not raining, which we were doing earlier. So I brought you up here because I needed a thatched cottage. I needed a thatched cottage because yesterday we got told a bit of info which I think is invaluable. So what we was told is obviously witch chasing, or people accusing people of witches, were quite common around here. Quite also as like in Yorkshire. And what they decided to do on the thatches is actually put a little point to stop the witches landing on the roof, and I'll show you it. So right on the end of the roof of the building, there's a little peak, and that's designed to stop the witches landing on the room and on the roof. And it was laughed at with this when we got told this at Flatford Mill the other day. And believe you me, it was no laughing matter. This was deadly serious. It was a serious thing, and you know, there were lots and lots of people that suffered. I mean, we had a ducking stool in Haworth that used to take care of witches, or trial witches. So this was a serious thing, and people died because of this. So it weren't no joke. So this idea that you stop your witches landing on your roof were done as a way of protecting yourself. Right, so we're coming down Church Street now, and there's quite a lot of buildings on the other side of the road that are quite beautiful really. In fact, what's quite funny is that you get that used to houses being wobbly, that when you see a square one, you're sort of disappointed. And I quite like, I've just looked at it, I quite like this building here, because this looks, when I say modern, obviously not modern, but obviously modern compared to a Tudor building, but they put a slant on that, so it sort of like loops out at the front, which I think's quite good, and the roof's clearly nowhere near level, so which is quite funny. When I look round here, there's another roof on this side that looks like it's falling on both sides. And it made me wonder, were they just really rubbish builders, or were they in fact, is it because of subsidence, because it's quite sandy around here? I just wondered whether it could be one of them two things, but either way, it's made for the character. And the other thing that was said, that we found out the other day is that a lot of the villages managed to get rid of their the older buildings because they managed to diversify when the wool trade finished, and Lavenham wasn't one of them. It was one of them that struggled, so the old houses remained, nobody were prepared to replace them, and now they're the ones. Well, this is where everybody comes to go and see, so it's amazing how it's flipped round, and they've sort of won really in the end. But yeah, some amazing houses. There's another one here, beautiful house, Lavenham house. So yeah, excellent stuff. Now I don't know if this is another Guildhall building, but it could be, because its location is prominent. It's got some markings on the side, and it's actually called Wool Cottage. So certainly, yeah, a bit like the Guildhall at the back of the Swan. Clearly very old, and clearly goes back a long time. But it's got a Civic Trust Award. It's called Blaze Houses, this one, so I might have to do a bit of research onto it. But yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all if that also was one of the 4 Guild Trusts. On the opposite side of the road, same again, loads of higgledy-piggledy-wiggledy houses. I mean, you've got one there that's leaning backwards. But yeah, and looking down the hill obviously to the Swan. This sort of centre of the town is just at the bottom of High Street and bottom of Church Street is just quite beautiful really. So there's still a couple of humdingers that I ain't shown you yet that you'll enjoy. Nice little touch from the local Co-op, East of England Co-op here. They're a lot more tasteful signage and decor in keeping than the ludicrous effort that we have around where we live, which has got no consideration for local architecture whatsoever. So there's two humdingers here. You're going to love these. So these 2 houses are just opposite the on the corner of Hall Street, and on that, and this is called High Street. I forgot to say it's not Main Street. All the main streets through the villages are called High Street. But yeah, this one on the corner of Hall Road, you think to yourself, oh, that looks a bit wobbly. When you realise when you look next door, it's actually quite straight compared to next door. That's got to be. I mean, just look at that. Really, honestly, how on earth is that still stood up? I suppose it can't go anywhere. I suppose that's what it's sort of got. It looks like it's falling in on itself. It's just quite amazing. So yeah, and then you've got some sort of brick buildings, and then you've got these sort of older buildings with sort of like these sort of markings on the wall, which look quite interesting. So there's quite a lot of antique shops and other sorts of little shops around here, but yeah, really magnificent. So we're going to walk up now, and we're going to go up towards the Guildhall, which is the one that's intact. So catch up with you soon. Just a couple more houses now, quite a nice one here. And I thought this one here, the Cordwainer's house, looks pretty snazzy. So this takes us down round the back towards the Guildhall. So this is the Guildhall, absolutely amazing. So we're going to go inside and have a look at this, I think. But yeah, this is another one that, you know, back to Tudor times, and this is obviously one of the 4 Guild buildings. So this is the last one. This is one that remains. So at least they've got one. And to be fair, I'm glad I've come on here, because there's a few bits and bobs, shops and what have you, that looks like quite interesting. I didn't realise we're there, so we'll... and there's the Angel Hotel. Might have to go for a cider. I've got to feel a cider coming on. Oh yeah, there's some more old houses over there as well, so we'll have a look in here and then we'll catch up. So this is the meeting hall of the Guildhall inside. Quite impressive. Just been talking to a nice fellow who's given us quite a lot of history of the place. So yeah, absolutely fantastic, and it's now used still for community use at sometimes in the year, but had a real interesting past. They've stored grain and all sorts. It were a prison for 250 years, so it's done all sorts of this building, but a bit of weaving there, I think. But yeah, really nice. Oh, we've got a loom here. So obviously wool very important to this place. So another area that an influx of Americans was Lavenham and around these areas. So there's a World War II bar in the Swan. As you can see, there's a lot of memorabilia here from the Second World War. So yeah, they are quite passionate about Lavenham and the Americans. So yeah, that was really fascinating looking at the Guildhall. So we're just going down this side here, we've got the Market Keeper's Cottage, and then on the other side we've got the Little Hall. So another hall think I'm about historyed out to death, so this will have to wait for another time. But yeah, still a very pretty thing. So interesting. So I think that more or less brings an end to the little tour of Lavenham, does that. So really enjoyed it. The Angel Hotel's looking like it's crying out to give me a drink, so we'll catch up soon.